Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. I had the absolute pleasure of emceeing the Polar Plunge, which is to raise funds for the Special Olympics. You can still make donations to that. Now, for today's show, we are talking to Regional Chair John Henry. It is Durham's 50th anniversary. So we'll be talking about that, how far Durham has come and where we're going. I'm also going to be doing a short yoga segment, and we're going to have a representative from the Scugog Sports Hall of Fame. Make sure you keep on watching. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
With clubs, leagues, and courts in every province and territory across Canada, squash is the sport for wall-to-wall fun, fitness, and friendship. From coast to coast to coast. Learn to play and you'll want to do it every day. Squash. Play inside the box.
Next episode on Meet the Band with the BMD, Solitary Man Tribute to Neil Diamond with Will Chalmers.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I have John Henry with me, who is the Durham Regional Chair, and we are talking about Durham's 50th anniversary. Welcome to the show.
Well, it's great to be here.
Yeah, and for such a beautiful celebration.
Well, Durham's got such an amazing story and how we were formed. 21 communities come together to make 8 communities, and we're the largest region and the fastest growing region in the province of Ontario.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there are so many great stories about the region. 50 years ago, a big part of the region was agriculture. It's still agriculture. Not only do we feed our residents, but we feed, Toronto and the rest of the country. There's some great stories about, we were always a car town and manufacturing communities. All that stuff still exists, and going forward, it will continue to drive the economy of not only Durham, the province, but Canada too. And our world presence is simply amazing.
Nice. So, okay, along with agriculture and the automotive industry, what are some other things that you're really proud of that we've accomplished in 50 years?
Well, you know that we're the energy capital of Canada.
I did not know that either.
So this is an amazing story of how Durham has been a willing host community for nuclear for a long time.
Sense.
So
Pickering.
we have Pickering and Clarington, but we're also home to the first small modular nuclear reactor under construction in the world. And the exciting part about that is when that reactor is finished, and then 3 more after that, we will be the energy capital of the world. And that young people in Durham region now have an opportunity to continue not only to be in the agricultural community or advanced manufacturing, but the generation of electricity will be a big part. But Durham region is going to change the world. A small modular nuclear reactor can be built and placed anywhere in the world. So you picture a place that is relying upon burning oil or coal, now has an option. Small modular nuclear reactors in the mining community, where you can bring power and combined heat into communities. It's such a great story. And of course we have Ontario Tech, which teaches nuclear engineering. But Durham College that has all these great programs, from growing food at their campus in Whitby to trades, and how that's affecting the world. And then of course Trent, and then we have a campus in our hospital by Queen's University where we're training doctors at Lake Ridge Health now to go out into the community in a time where there's a real shortage of doctors. So Durham is doing so many really great things. But our story, while we try to get it out there, the story tends to be about Toronto. But Durham, the sun touches us before it gets to the city of Toronto. And in fact, we keep their lights on and feed the residents of Toronto every day.
Wow, I don't think the residents of Toronto know really how important and awesome Durham is.
Well, you know, it's about the people. You know, you look at our population and where we are today and where we're going. Continued growth is a great thing, but a lot of our lands are protected lands. They will still be farmed. About 80% of Durham region is green. It will stay green. So not only are we a place of choice for industry to move to, not only related to nuclear, but you know, Kubota's here now. We have a large bakery going in. We have a large dairy going in. We have a new warehousing facility that comes in that distributes for McDonald's. All of these great things are happening in Durham region. But there's all these existing businesses that have been around for 50 years and longer that have made Durham the greatest thing. We have lots of farms in our community that have been around since before Confederation.
So obviously, it really sounds like Durham is going to continue to grow and thrive. For coming from the voice of the region, where do you see us going in the next 50 years?
Oh, I see us leading Canada in a lot of areas, whether it be education, medicine, nuclear isotopes is another big topic that we have. We already feed a big part, the changing of agriculture and how we'll be able to do more. It's an exciting time. Durham has a place in the economics of this country, but really we're leaders in so many areas. You only have to look at Project Arrow, developed it in Durham region about a car that ended up at the Consumer Electronics shows in Las Vegas and really sent a message around the world that what we can do here, you know, the ability for us to ship grains out of our port. We have a great rail system. We have a great road network. And we have a talented workforce that is second to none. And you know, kids that go to school nowadays, if you can go to school in the community that you live in, whether it be Ontario Tech, Durham College, or Trent University, makes a big difference. You know, the money that you spend in residency in other communities, and if you can stay at home, it cuts your educational costs by almost half. And I'm excited about the opportunities for young people and the fields that they choose. Some of those fields were here 50 years ago. There'll be new fields created. But I'm so proud of what we've been able to accomplish, and I look forward to where we will be the next 50 years and what we're able to do together.
Beautiful. So to celebrate 50 years, I understand there's some online contests going on. So where do people go? And
you can go right to the Regent's website, and if you're in grade 5 or grade 10, there's the Chair for the Day contest.
Okay.
Where you can, you know, put a submission together and send it into our office. I will read every one that comes in, and we will pick somebody from grade 5, somebody from grade 10, and they will be the mayor or the chair for the day. And I'm excited about that opportunity, because if you really want to change the world, you need to listen to young people, you need to educate young people, and then they're going to go change the world. And they can do that right here in Durham.
Thank you so much. I think I got goosebumps several times during this interview, and I'm so proud to be a Durham resident. So thank you so much for being on the show. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
When you're away from the gym, here's what CrossFit Oshawa does to keep fit. I want to show you a pull-up today because it's a functional movement that utilizes your entire body. If that's too challenging, scale it back to a jumping pull-up. Box jumps are great because they help you develop power in your lower body, and if you do enough reps, they elicit a great cardio response as well. We jump, land, and stand. To make that easier on your ankle, we can jump, land, stand, and step down. Burpees are everyone's favorite. They have a love-hate relationship because they're so great at developing that cardio response. In a burpee, chest goes to the floor, jump and clap overhead. Another one that I love to do is just getting out and running with the dog. I'll see you outside.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So with me on the show, I have Leanne Ashbridge, who is the chair of Scugog Sports Hall of Fame, and we're talking about 4 new inductees, and that will be happening on April the 25th.
That's right.
So, Leanne, I would love to find out, what is the process that you go through in order to choose who is going to be inducted?
We have a nomination process, and we accept nominations from the public anytime. There is a list of criteria that is on our website, on the Scugog Township website, in order to qualify for a nomination. Those nomination forms are reviewed by a committee, a steering committee, and we look at the merits of the nomination, we look at the date of the nomination, we look at we try to look at a theme for every year, we have nominees that are related in some way, or we can make the evening a nice rounded out evening. And based on all of those kind of criteria, the selection committee makes a selection based on the recommendation of our nomination person. He's somebody who is dedicated to looking at all the nominations and bringing them forward to the steering committee. And based on his recommendation and questions and answers that we get at the actual steering committee meeting where we select our inductees, that's how the process works.
Beautiful. So how often do you have new inductees?
We try to do it annually.
Okay.
We did have a couple of years off because of COVID, but we've been doing this now since 2007. Okay. And we are really excited about this year and the nominations that have come in and the inductees that we've selected.
And so the inductee or the induction process is taking place, or the official...
The ceremony?
The ceremony, thank you, on April the 25th.
Yes.
What is going to happen at that event?
What happens at that event is we have a dinner for the inductees and their guests that is paid for by the sponsorships of the ceremony. And then the inductees are escorted in and piped in by a piper. We often have the town crier do a little cry before it starts.
Nice.
We invite a keynote speaker to do a presentation. And then inductees are called onto the stage, and their accolades are read about, and people are aware of what they've done and who they are if they don't already know. And they receive a certificate, as well as we have a sketch artist who does a sketch of them. And those sketches, along with a write-up about their achievements within the sport that they're being inducted for, is hung on the wall in the Scugog Arena.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I understand there's 3 categories. So you have an athlete category, a builder category, and teams.
That's right.
So for April the 25th, you have 4 new inductees.
We do.
One of which is an athlete. Do you want to start with?
Our athlete this year who's being inducted is Mike Haig. Mike is a renowned arm wrestler. And he is internationally known and has had many awards in his sport, and is actually in many other halls of fame specific to the arm wrestling sport. He has started up clubs in both England and in Port Perry, actually, and as not just as an athlete, but he is also someone who is a real promoter of that sport, and he's held a lot of administrative positions within the arm wrestling community as well. So we're really pleased about him being inducted.
Very exciting. Mm-hmm. So you also have someone from the builder category.
We do. Our builder this year is a longtime Port Perry resident, Georgia Brock. Her family has been in the area for generations, and Georgia actually brought tennis to the community of Port Perry. She was a teacher at Port Perry High School, and she started with a bunch of students in the back parking lot, got the principal involved and got them to put in a tennis net in the back parking lot. And then she really worked hard to have council involved and made presentations to council to get tennis courts put downtown at the lakefront. And she got some teachers together, and they put together a club. So we now have the Port Perry Tennis Club, which has celebrated more than 50 years in existence. So she's done a great job. She's also being inducted for her role in Port Perry figure skating. She was instrumental in getting that club started and was actually the first president of the Port Perry Skating Club.
She has done a lot.
She certainly has.
That is amazing.
Yes. She was also a member of our Hall of Fame committee for a period of time when she sat on council, so when she was a councilwoman.
Now you have 2 teams being
do.
inducted. Tell me
Yes.
about those.
The teams are the Greenbank Gamblers. The Greenbank Gamblers have been in operation for quite some time in Greenbank. They are no longer in existence now, but in the 70s and 80s, they were a force to be reckoned with. They won a lot of tournaments. They were envied by many teams because they had such great athletes on those teams. The 2 teams that we are inducting are the 1986 team and the 1988 team. Most of the players on both of those teams are the same players, with the exception of 2 or 3. And both of those teams in themselves won championships at the provincial level, the All-Ontarios, through the Ontario Amateur Softball Association in the intermediate division.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, can people get tickets to attend this event?
The event is free to anyone who wants to come.
Okay.
The doors at the Scugog Community Centre will open at 6.
Okay.
There's a cash bar and lots of entertainment and lots of time to meet with old friends that you haven't seen in a long time. Many of the times when we bring these people together, the teams especially, they haven't seen each other for many, many years. So it's kind of a coming home kind of event for many people.
Oh, that's amazing. Anyone going to wear their jerseys from way back
We
when?
have had people wear jerseys. We've had people wear their championship jackets. Yes, so there may be some of that happens. There's also going to be a display. We also operate a Hall of Fame collection, so we have a lot of memorabilia that we are archiving and storing and artifacts. And so there will be a display as well on the night of the event, and then that display will be moved to our exhibit in the arena following the event and be on display for most of the spring and summer.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. So great to have you on the
Thank you
show.
very
and I wish you a
much.
very successful event
Thank you
on
so
April
much.
the 25th.
I'm very
we'll
glad
be
to be
back
here.
with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
These days at your local Legion, we're marching to the beat of a different drum. On a mission to support veterans, to have fun, and to welcome everyone to our ranks. You don't have to be a veteran to join the Legion. And as a member, you'll join thousands of others serving our veterans, our communities, and our country. Oh yeah, and our Member Perks program will save you thousands on shopping, dining, products, and services across the country. Join us at legion.ca.
What is sustainable cooking? Sustainable cooking is knowing where your food comes from, finding your local farmers, sourcing out that food, bringing it back to your kitchen, and cooking it efficiently the way the Ontario farmer wants us to. I'm Chef Connie Powers. Join me each episode as we take you to a local farmer and let them tell you their story. Like I said, it's going to be a good season. Join us on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. It's time for a yoga segment. So I am a yoga instructor, and I thought I would provide some poses that you can do right within the workplace. You can do it obviously at home, and maybe your workplace is at home. So all you need is a chair. If it is possible to have a straight back chair, that would be great. If in the workplace you have one of those wheelie chairs, just make sure that your brakes are on. You might need to adapt some poses depending if you have some arm handles at the side. So just work with it as it's going to work for you with the resources that you currently have. So sitting up nice and tall, you can do this with me. I might end up just doing one side because of time-wise, but then you can move over to the other side. So let's see how this flows. So you can sit feet shoulder width apart, feet flat on the ground. If you're wearing shoes, that's fine. If you're wearing heels, I recommend taking them off. Sitting nice and tall. So we're going to start with a cat-cow. It's a nice way to start warming up the spine. So you can have your hands on your knees. Then we're going to start with a seated cow pose. So you're going to breathe in. You're going to push your heart forward and up. So with a little bit of an arc in your back, your chin is just slightly raised. And your feet, you're drawing those shoulder blades together. And then you can round your spine, push the back of your heart towards the ceiling. You're bringing your belly button in. Your shoulders are pushing forward as the back of your heart is pushing back. Now you can work with your breath as you go between the different poses. So if you wish, you could breathe in, chest up, and you're in your cow, and then breathe out to cat. Breathe into cow. You can do this slower or faster wherever you're at today. Breathe out to cat. So you can do that several times. Right now we can breathe in and come back to a neutral spine. Okay, so now we're going to take our hands together. You can interlace them. Push those hands forward, round that spine again. And you're pushing the back of your heart towards the wall behind you as those hands are reaching forward, and you can feel a stretch in your shoulders as well. And then we're going to do an opposing stretch here. So you can either place your hands behind your back as if you were sticking your hands in your pockets and draw your elbows back together while you open your heart. Or if your shoulder flexibility is there, you can grab onto opposite elbow. So you're going to open up that chest. Think about having a nice long spine, tall neck, and do some nice deep breaths. And if it feels okay, breathing in and out through your nose. Good. Okay, you can release that. You can do that longer if you wish. We're going to get a nice spinal twist in now. So you're going to take your left hand and place it across your right thigh. Right arm can go behind the chair, behind the back of the chair. Looking over your right shoulder, I want you to do some nice deep breaths in and out through your nose. Thinking nice tall spine. Every deep breath in, think about creating more space, and every breath out, thinking about moving more into that space that you've created. And then you would go to the other side. We can do that briefly. You can do it longer if you wish. So looking over that left shoulder, deep breath in, long breath out, moving into that new space. Again, breath in, breath out. Good. Coming back to center. Okay, we're going to take the right leg, cross it over the left. Now, you might not be able to get exactly to this position. It might be more like this. You might even have your foot at the side of your calf, just as long as you're not pushing into the knee. So wherever you're at, you want to try to have a flex foot sitting up straight, aiming to have both bum cheeks secure on your chair. If you want, you can push gently, not on the knee again, but gently bringing this thigh more down, sitting up nice and tall, hinging at the hips. Breathe in, breathe out, hinge forward. You might only feel like, well, maybe I'm going a half an inch forward, or maybe you can go a lot deeper. Wherever you're at, it's perfect. Just embrace where your body is at today. You might find one hip is stiffer or more open than the other hip. So nice deep breaths. You can have your eyes open or closed. Okay, so breathing in and out. Good. So you would go to the other side. I'm going to move on so you can get a few more poses in here. So I want you to straighten that leg out in front. You can hold it under your thigh or hold it here. If this is too much to be doing in the workplace, you're going to feel awkward doing this in the workplace. You can also move to the edge of your chair, have the leg forward, and lean forward like this, breathing into the back of that hamstring. When you open up those hamstrings, it can really help for you to open up your lower back as well. So think about that. There's other ones that we can do. Maybe we can save those for another episode. You can check out my website, thejoyfulyogini.ca, and you can come to a class that works for you. Thanks for watching. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
This is a brain in urgent need of mental health care. but because 3 out of every 4 Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare. She may not get the help she needs. Become an ally. Rise above racism in healthcare.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Van Bilsen. My next guest is Matt Passafume, who together with his wife Stephanie own and operate Applewood Farm Winery, a very successful venture with a great history. We'll also find out the story behind the person right here on Rogers TV.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So at the end of the show, I like to pull a card from one of my decks just to offer some inspiration and to assist us with the current energy of the week. Once again, I am using my Animal Tarot deck, and I pulled the Lynx. So this came up just before. I'm going to show it right over here. Okay, so for the Lynx, the message on the card is hidden knowledge and creativity. So there's energy working in the background. And so I feel like with this card, the message for this card could change depending on what's currently going on. But I feel like the message that is coming up for this card, you are going to have some hidden knowledge. You're going to have some inspiration, some creative inspiration. But this week, you're not necessarily going to be telling everyone about it, because I feel like there's still more information that needs to come through for you. It's like you've received part of the message, you have part of the inspiration, but more creativity will be flowing soon. So hold off on telling whoever you would talk to so the topic at hand will be popping into your head, and it's going to be different for each of us. So whoever you would, let's say, talk to in order to start rolling through these plans, hold the phone. Maybe closer to the end of the week, you might be, the missing pieces will start coming through. And if you feel like you didn't even get that creative inspiration in the first place yet, don't worry, it's coming. So for some of you, even the first pieces of inspiration will be coming through maybe closer to the end of the week. And that's it. That's it. I hesitated there, but it's time to wrap up. So we will be back with more next week on Uxbridge Scugog Life. Make sure you keep watching. Bye.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
We were born in Canada. We spoke English. On the streets, we weren't welcome. But on the field, we were the Asahi. Vancouver's champions. Everyone cheered for us. Our people had a voice. Then Canada declared war on Japan. They took us from our homes, called us enemies, forced us into camps.